Hey, it's Andrew at BTO Range. Got Jake from BTO Range with us. He brought his mustache with him today. And we've got some new product from Vortex. Today, May the 9th, is the official launch day for the new Vortex Viper HD scopes. So we're going to go over some of the cool stuff, the improvements they've made to this Viper line. We've got one of the discontinued scopes here, the Viper HS. And we're going to talk about some of the differences. So real quick, what's coming in, what's going out. So the Viper HDs in 2 to 10, 3 to 15 by 44, and 5 to 25 by 50 are the new Viper HD scopes. And we're going to go over a little bit about those. And what's going away is any of the Viper HS and Viper HST scopes are being discontinued as of May the 9th. So you're going to see deep discounts on those scopes. They're still great scopes. The Viper PST is not affected by this product launch whatsoever. Those scopes are still in line with Vortex. And we've got them at the range, just saying. So, Jake, you've had an opportunity to pick those up and look at it. That's, what is that, 6 to 24 on that Viper HS?
6 to 24, yes.
Okay. So, 30 mil scope, right? 30
millimeter main tube, 50 millimeter objective bell.
Right. So we're kind of in the same ballpark here. They stayed with the 30 millimeter main tube. They did not go to the 34, which is kind of a razor kind of thing, right? So where did they improve it? What's the power range on that scope?
6 to 24.
Right. 4x, 5x. So these are 2 to 10, right? So you have 5 times magnification on the new Viper HD scopes, not just the 4x of the Viper HSs, right?
Right.
They've improved the glass clarity. They've improved the glass coatings on the Viper HD scopes. So these are going to be much closer to the PST, much closer to the razor than we see in that old, I say it's old scope, in the scopes that are being discontinued now. So what do we know about the illumination on this scope here?
It doesn't illuminate.
Correct. These do. The center, the center dot's illuminated, and we have push button. It's a CR2032 battery that runs this inside of the knob here, and it's a push on, push off, click on, click off with the button. CR2032 battery comes in the box. So we have that. What about parallax on that scope?
Parallax, side adjustment.
Okay. On the older scope, yes, parallax side adjustment. Now, that varies with the HD depending on which scope you have. On the 2 to 10, the small scope, the parallax is factory set at 100 yards. It is not adjustable. On the other scopes, it is adjustable here with the side knob from 20 yards to infinity, and that's all the way through the 525s. So reticle changes. The reticles in that scope, you have the dead hole BDC, and I'm not sure what reticle's in there. It's probably one of the VMR reticles. Kind of looks like a
dead hole. Or this is.
Is it a dead hole?
Dead hole.
Okay, so the dead hole is still there, and this scope here, the 2 to 10, only comes with that dead hole BDC. So on the 2 to 10, it's kind of the entry level scope. You have the dead hole BDC, the fixed parallax. It is the adjustable center point here. So it's a fairly basic scope with capped reticles, 30 millimeter excellent glass. We start moving into the bigger magnification, 3 to 15, 5 to 25. We have the dead hole BDC still available. And then we have in the 5 to 25 and the 3 to 15, we see the VMR 3. And then we have the VMR 4, which is kind of a Horus type reticle, right, with the windage points on the side. And usually in the Vortex line, you had to get to the PST to get that. And then the razor, obviously, right? So, but how much is a razor? What are we selling the razors for?
2.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, there's a comma behind that too. There's 2,000. So these scopes are a little bit friendlier on the wallet.
And they're available in MOA and MRAD, right?
MOA and MRAD. On the 5 to 25, you have both reticles, the VMR3, VMR4, available in both MOA and MRAD. It's quarter MOA adjustments and 0.1 MRAD on the adjustments there. On the 3 to 15, you only have the VMR3. The VMR4 reticle is not supported in the 3 to 15 magnification, but it is, you do have a choice of MOA or MRAD on that as well. So if you want an MRAD scope, they've got you covered. in the 3.5 or the other one. So zero stops, zero stops, zero stops. Both these are capped turrets. These particular dead hole BDC scopes are capped turrets, no zero stop. That zero stop on the discontinued scope. You remember what those look like under there?
It's a series of shims or washers.
Yeah, brass shims that you had to do this with. It's kind of a mushy zero stop. What Vortex did is they went with the rev stop ring on the Viper HDs, the ones that come with the zero stop. And again, that's going to be anything with the VMR3 or VMR4 reticle is going to have the zero stop capability. The rev stop ring is a ring that's going to come in the box. It's not going to be in the scope. So once you zero the scope, you take the turret off, you drop the rev stop ring on there, and that actually functions as your zero stop.
And it's a hard stop.
It's a hard stop.
It's not that soft.
No, it's not a mushy stop at all. It's a good hard stop. It's different than the Razor zero stop.
Okay.
On the Razor zero stop, you have to sight the gun in with the turret taken apart. On this one, you don't. Once you sight it in, you just put the rev stop ring on there. You adjust it and zero your turrets, and you're good to go. So you pay your money and you take your choices on the zero stops. So what do you think, Jake?
I like it. You have click adjustments for powering on and off. Instead of that dial, and then going all through. Oh, you switch out.
There's going to be one challenge with some of these scopes, particularly these scopes here, is how short the tube is. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge on maybe some older rifles, particularly the Savage bolt guns that have a long distance between the front and the rear scope ring bases. So on those guns, you're almost always going to have to go with a pick rail mount. Yeah. You're not going to be able to do two-piece mounts on, say, the Savage 110, you know. So you just have to go with a pick rail, and that necessarily may make you a little bit higher over bore than you would otherwise need to be on the gun. But other than that, but that's not just a Vortex thing, though. We see that with Leupold. We see that with everybody.
Everyone else is making the shorter scopes.
Yeah, all the SIG whiskeys and tangos we have, those tubes are short too. So and we talk about that in our scope, one of our scope mounting videos, I think. So
yeah, makes it great for ARs and rifles like that. But if you have a traditional hunting rifle, it can be a little harder.
Yeah, I can see this scope on an AR. I mean, with a cantilever mount, it'd be a good play for that as well. So, what do these things cost? Damn good question, Jake. Anyway, yeah. So that scope I think was like $549-ish, something like that. So things have gone up a little bit. The 2 to 10, the scope here is going to be. Retail on it is going to be somewhere in the sevens. Street price on this is going to be right at $600 for the 2 to 10, and then the price to play keeps going up depending on magnification and reticle. So this particular scope, dead hole in 3 to 15 is $700, and then it goes up to $750 for the VMR3, and then $900 for the 5 to 25. In the second focal plane scope, and then $1,000 in the first focal plane scope. That's what
5 to 25 is first focal plane.
5 to 25, you do have first focal plane now. And here's something different on the second focal plane scopes. Now, the second focal plane scopes in the 5 to 25, and for the 3 to 15. They have the VMR3 reticle, so there are hash marks, or subtension marks on the scope, right? So in second focal plane, when you have that, because the reticle does not scale with magnification as the target scales, those subtensions are only accurate at a specific magnification range, and typically it's the maximum magnification. So on the 3 to 15 scope with the VMR3 in it, that is correct. The subtensions will be accurate at 15 power. But on the 5 to 25, Vortex has set it to where the subtensions are correct at 20.
Interesting.
So those subtensions are correct on that scope at the 20 power range. Just a little tidbit there. And we'll do a video on the difference between second focal plane and first focal plane, because that's something that confuses still quite a few people. So
some of the models do have an exposed locking elevation turret, right?
Correct, yeah. All of those that have the zero stop are going to have that exposed locking turret. So what that does is, even if you have the zero stop installed, you still can't just turn the turret. You have to pull the turret up to a click spot, and then you can turn the turret and lock it back down. So even with the turret pulled up, it's not going to rotate down past the zero stop. So ton of good features on these Vipers. On the new ones, the Viper HDs are available now. I know some people, we had them well before we could talk about them, but some people talked about them anyway. In your arms, that shouldn't have been doing that. But anyway, be that as it may, their scopes are available now. They're good to go. It's a big difference in the Viper line. It's kind of the mid-price line from Vortex, if you will, that I think is going to make a big difference in their scope line.
That's still a great quality scope.
100%. And if you have, don't throw rocks at those older Viper HSs for sure. And now's your chance. A lot of people will be closing those scopes out.
Yeah.
So there may be a good opportunity to pick up still a very great scope at a super price while we make room for the new product.
New line.
All right, Jake, thanks for swinging in on this one.
Pleasure being here.
We're going to do some more new product video as stuff comes out. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, whatever the hell the little bell does, ding that. I don't know. What
Notifications.
Okay. Thanks for coming by, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Adios.